Beloved star, welcome, warmest welcome to Immortal Starpod episode 62. And this one, I've had such a strong week this week, and especially following the closing in the last phase of the dark of the moon, of the star magnolia moon. And in the cycles of the Elven, we've just transited into the Primrose moon. This moon of Ostara, the Ostara spring equinox gateway next week. And in so many ways, I am right at the beginning of this energy still. It's been such a strong recalibration for me. And I found that completion of the star magnolia moon, of which I've been speaking, which has been that of the aura, the recreation of the aura this year, that innermost essence equals deepest interconnection, has been the most profound reconstruction of the auric field. And actually this week I was in the orchard full of the star magnolias just opening and really present with their petals, and they were under grey skies with the winds blowing through them. And it felt so appropriate as I feel this overlapping wave with the primroses underfoot blossoming everywhere, and the star magnolia opening in the wind under the grey skies. And this sense that with the ignition of the primrose moon, and this is just a mini pod this time, little evening pod as I record at the close of my week, and that the primrose moon, as it begins, invites in the most beautiful new potentialities. As those auric fields recreate themselves, what I found was over the weekend and through the dark of the moon and through the new moon passage, that I found myself at the human level, at this level, as I began thinking and dreaming again, feeling the call of the primrose light, which is appearing to me as this softest and yet deep yellow white starlight golden radiance, this sense of creation, of co-creation that is calling in the solar cycle of this year, that now there is the start of the impetus of the energy to decide itself. And I really felt at the human level a lot of decisions wanting to synchronize. How will I create now this year? What choices will I make? How will I use my energy? And that crystallizing at the very practical level of the expression. And it was very emotional because I felt it was as though the way my energy would have composed those decisions before, out of the deeper light structures of the way my energy and my aura was formed before, I felt that presenting as though the old way of deciding and for me that's usually at this point to make some really big decisions and to say some really huge yeses co-creatively, and this is what I will embark on, this is what I will invest my energy, my time, my resources in this solar cycle of the year to come. I felt the old way of doing that but presenting as new decisions, new choices, and that I was really present with choices and decisions I thought I was going to make, things I thought I was going to say yes to. And then I had this deep emotional dissolution at the heart of that. I became very down and very, very heavy with that sense, and very deeply aware of how that would create, if I went down that pathway, if I made those particular choices, the same kind of cycle that I've experienced before. And I've been speaking about this, that it would be an expansion that would create similar imbalances and learnings that I've had in prior years. And it was very, very poignant to feel that within myself. And even though I've been teaching of this and speaking of it, I hadn't experienced at the practical level in quite that way the implications of that for the year to come, and how that would feel when this beautiful blossoming energy of the co-creative energies, when they presented, how differently that would really mean I would respond. And as those choices dissolved out of me, with my auric field now composed as it is in a very different way, and I'm feeling a blossoming light, but in a much deeper balance to the within and the place of that innermost essence. And it's that sense that every choice point and everything I create through the hologram of my dreaming needs to have a very direct relationship right back to that innermost essence. And if it doesn't come back in a carrier wave right back to my core in that way, and bring that deepest quantum amplification of my core light, that it's a co-creation or a decision that I'm not prepared to make. And so with that, I released all kinds of decisions I thought I was going to make, and came into a place which was very, very tender and emotional, but yet very, very beautiful. I felt emotional but lighter, that shimmering lightness again coming back within my being, rather than this real feeling of heaviness that was coming in, that I was going to actually set myself up with a cycle that would be very expansive and then get very, very heavy and limiting on the other end of the spectrum. And the deeper wisdom of my soul star speaking and talking to a different potentiality. And that really mirrors what I'm feeling through the Primrose moon as it begins. This pod is a little, it's just short, you can probably feel my energy is a little lower as I just emerge from this deep recalibration. And I have been physically tired this week following it, very physically tired and really recomposing as I gathered myself back up and really gathered myself deep into my core and just felt everything that I choose, however I move with all of these co-creative potentials, has got to have a very, very different kind of effect to what I've experienced before, which is that through this cycle, I'm going to be brought into deeper and deeper amplification within my innermost essence. I'm actually going to land more and more powerfully within myself through this, and thus be able to give more and more of the core light of that which I am. Everything, if you like, that flows out of me from here is going to flow back in a way that enables me to give even more of that which I am, and deepen into the joy of that evolution in my own light. And this has just felt very, very beautiful to experience it at a whole new level. And it's like holding back in a way, but not, because, and this I just love to share, this is just a mini pod, but this is the nature of the Primrose moon, as the Elven call this, howsoever you're journeying with this moon. This is in the Elven Ascension cycles, the Elven Primrose moon, the medicine of the primrose flower. That invites, actually, it's as though if you saw that energy of that which you might dance with, that which you might co-create with, whether it's a relationship or something related to work, business, family life, creation at any level of your life that's expressing creation in your home, in your garden, whatever this is, that the twin, the meeting vortexes of that I am presence in the field, of that which you might co-create with, that if each of those, like the clusters of the primrose flower that grow together, when that co-creative light meets at this level of I am presence, when those twin vortexes of light are emanating in truth from innermost essence, and there is the meeting at that level, then instead of energies, you might be in situations where you give a lot, or situations where you take. And actually, that what happens when there is that vibration of meeting and co-creation at that level is there is exponential amplification for both and that is the field establishing of our co-creation, of our interconnection. We'll be making very realized and very conscious choices around that kind of potentiality. We'll be aware of that possibility in a way that we've never been before. We may never even have asked for that at that level, being aware, as I don't feel I have been. While I've certainly experienced really beautiful soul star co-creations, never at this level of this depth of 100% purity, and the awareness that when it's really happening at that level that is in truth to innermost essence, and that enables the complete expression of that innermost essence through the auric field, through the hologram of the dream that we dream, that in fact there is this absolute, there is no loss of energy. There is no loss of energy, neither taken nor given away, no loss of energy, no loss of power, but actually that deep, mutual and complete exponential amplification in the field. And so calling into that for you also. So I'm sharing this mini pod because I really want to invite that for each one of us. And I want to speak that medicine of the primrose that's really coming in. They grow close to the ground, the primrose flowers, and many, many flowers come out from the same base. And they grow in these beautiful clusters. So as you're feeling what you want to enter into in co-creation through the solar cycle that's been ignited since the solstice, how your new source codes will express this new wave of cosmic instructions coming through your being, that you invite in this highest potentiality for you now in that field of co-creation, and really feel, will it return you to yourself 1,000-fold, even as you give the light of that which you are, even as you invest your energy? Will it really, really call you back more than ever before, enable you to expand into the field of the one who you are, which then all over again means that you have this deepened access to give of the truth of that which you are. And we can really let anything else at this point fall away. Even if it feels, because I think that's what I've, in the past, if I look at cycles, it's like, yes, it's been connected to my soul star. It's been connected to this continuum of the light that I am. But we don't have to say yes now to anything that isn't this potentiality I'm describing. Really feel in, does it absolutely complete that exponential cycle of energy that is what's truly possible in the field of immortal starlight co-creation? So those are the points to feel into, so that you can have a cycle. This whole cycle will be one for you that is truly, yes, miraculously expansive, that fulfills absolutely the dream of your soul star, of that which you are, of your becoming for the dawn, and is that for all the realms, and also is one that is balanced at this level. That principle of balance and exponential growth, becoming, expression is one, absolutely one and the same. So may this potentiality be massively activated for you, sense into that for you. Maybe like me, there's a sifting through attachment points, places, ways you might have created before, letting go of dreams a little in order to settle into what this is for you. But I promise you, even if it involves that and there's some emotion around that letting go, you'll find that actually something that is so much better for you comes into being, really better for you in ways that, you just maybe have never allowed the depth of that potentiality of how good a cycle for you can be in this way, and the way the energy can work. So with so much love, I'll close this mini pod. This is me a ragged on the other side of that deep recalibration and reinitiation, and I'm just really now settling into that and watching the expression of that and its patterning out. So have a really, really beautiful week, and I shall see you soon. With so much love, Kanani Asara Thana Tian. May this be, a really, really beautiful reset point to you as you feel into this and what that means for your choice points. Kanea Sonana Tian, and I'll walk in grace for the dawn. Yana Tara Thon Anatiana, in the truth and the grace and the power of the ones who we are. So much love, and I shall see you soon.